April 10, 1834. New Orleans. A thick, suffocating smoke begins to rise from the Grand Mansion on Royal Street. This was the home of Madame Delphine LaLaurie, a prominent high society socialite known for her wealth, elegance, and supreme sophistication. To the public, she was an elite. Inside her walls, she was something entirely different. As neighbors and the local fire brigade rushed into the burning estate to extinguish the flames, they made their way to the kitchen. There they found a 70-year-old enslaved woman, chained directly to the massive iron stove. She admitted she had started the fire herself, not out of malice, but as a desperate, suicidal plea for help. She was terrified of being taken to the 3rd floor. The attic, a place from which no one ever returned. When the fire brigade demanded the keys to the upper quarters, Madame LaLaurie coldly refused, telling them to mind their own business. But the smoke was thickening, and the law demanded action. Bystanders and authorities grabbed axes and crowbars, rushing up the narrow stairs to the 3rd floor. They smashed through the heavily padlocked wooden door. They expected to find fire. Instead, they stepped into a physical manifestation of human depravity. As the heavy wooden door splintered open, the rescuers were hit by a stench so foul it made grown men stagger. Inside the dimly lit, suffocating attic, the reality was worse than any Gothic fiction. 7 missing individuals were discovered alive, but they were barely recognizable as human. They had been subjected to monstrous anatomical mutations. Some were chained to the stone walls, suspended for months in complete darkness. Others were crammed into tiny custom-built iron cages, their limbs deliberately broken and reset at unnatural, horrific angles. Historical police records from that night describe a woman whose bones had been shattered and rearranged to make her resemble a crab. Another man was found with a hole drilled directly into his skull, a rusted tool still embedded in the bone. This was not mere punishment. This was systematic, cold-blooded human modification. Madame LaLaurie wasn't just a cruel master. She was operating a hidden, twisted laboratory in the heart of New Orleans. And the most disturbing realization? She did it all while hosting elegant balls just 2 floors below. As the horrific truth of the 3rd floor poured out onto Royal Street, the citizens of New Orleans erupted. The elite mask was shattered. A massive, furious mob gathered outside the burning mansion, armed and ready to tear Madame LaLaurie apart piece by piece. The authorities scrambled to secure the area, but the chaos was uncontrollable. But here is where the historical record turns from tragedy into a ghost story. Madame LaLaurie did not panic. Amidst the screaming crowd and the burning ruins of her reputation, she remained terrifyingly calm. A dark carriage suddenly pulled up to the rear gates. Before the mob could break through, she stepped inside and vanished into the night. She was never captured. She never stood trial. No prison ever held her. Some rumors claim she fled to Paris, living out the rest of her days in luxury, while others say she simply disappeared into the Louisiana swamps. The truth remains buried, much like the victims in her attic. The LaLaurie Mansion still stands today, a hollow shell of wood and stone, hiding a frequency of pain that will never truly fade. The fire was extinguished centuries ago, but the shadows on the 3rd floor are still waiting. Archive closed. Until next time, stay out of the dark.